in my opinion, and everybody else who saw that interview, Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Damascus, Virginia, with Governor of Virginia, Youngkin, and I can tell you, nothing went good in that whole exchange. Listen, people, Virginia Governor Youngkin is a con artist, in my opinion. Did you know the news said a couple of days ago? So you start working on recovery efforts because Vice President J.D. Vance is coming into town. And then another thing I want people to notice. You notice they didn't let residents talk about the job Governor Youngkin did. You know why? Because they know he hasn't done anything at all except for come up there, give out some word salad, and leave. That was a complete unacceptable response and visit by Governor of Virginia, Youngkin. It showed how much he could clearly care less or is so out of touch to the point. I thought maybe I was being hard on Governor Youngkin when I said he was slow. I'm really starting to believe I wasn't even joking about it, because I couldn't figure out how somebody can make this many colossal mistakes unless you just a Democrat yourself or you're just basically slow, one or the other. People, this is why you don't worship politicians. They haven't even gotten to 750, and mind you, they get it. They can lose their home if they don't pay it back, and they're already struggling. Now, they also, Youngkin, I can clearly hear, you was going to get your money back, so why didn't Virginia front the cause and get reimbursed? So you can start expediting the recovery process. The initial estimates of damage was at about $500 million, meaning $1 billion probably could solve the problem before it became $4 billion. After this podcast, you're going to see the receipts of how dramatically the cost accelerated, and Damascus residents been without any help or assistance that was really significant by the state government for over 4 months. That's a special kind of teed off when you call it. And to still see the news of the deep state continue to gaslight, continue to cover it up, because this ain't all Vice President J.D. Vance. You can see from the image that I'm going to put up after this podcast, he's not happy with Youngkin. Nobody is. And to see this cult that has came across, remember, President Trump called Virginia Republicans under Youngkin backstabbers. And there's no way in the world President Trump doesn't think Winsome Sears wasn't put up to it by Governor Youngkin, especially when he was trying to become president of the United States of America. And now you're seeing he spent more time campaigning for president than managing the state that he is the executive chief officer of. Even Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears should have called him out on this. After a while, Democrats aren't winning because they are some great group. They are winning because people have basically left the ship. They said, you can't keep doing this to us, Youngkin. And all Youngkin keeps doing is flooding the money and flooding the media markets. And people are now seeing, we see now why you're doing it. You're not doing it because you are trying to get out a message that is of conservative value with some kind of action that represents the Republican Party. You're doing it to cover your butt for the stuff that is not being discussed in the paper. It seems like it only discusses you when it tries to put a favorable light on your wounds, meaning your losses. You can't lose the House, Senate, can't deliver Virginia for the president, and every swing state swing except for your state. After a while, unacceptable, inexcusable, bad, terrible job performance, it has went from a lower number to a bigger number. So it shows that the newspaper is obviously lying about you. Governor Youngkin should have known better to think Virginians is that stupid. And the only thing people are doing right now, they're finding out the alternatives, because they're like, you've been lying to us left and right, you've just been whatever. At this point, Youngkin is being treated like Gavin Newsom. The only difference is publicly, it is one of those shock factors for all Republicans and conservatives and even common sense folks. How can you mess up this bad? Richmond being out of water, all that. After a while, it's not enough. It's not enough excuses to keep covering this up. The reason why I look this good now is because he has always been this terrible. This is common sense, people. Are you only supporting Winston Sears because Youngkin is the one who endorsed, or are you only supporting her because you was hoping she'll have the Kamala effect? No, bad leadership and terrible leadership doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have a race. It has everything to do with the fact that people woke up before you do. And when you do wake up, hopefully you're not sitting there by yourself and everybody has left you and won't even bother to give you a rope for you to grab on. People are recognizing the obvious. It was people who was there for people throughout that 4 months. The government was pretty much inexistent. And if it was there, it was more problems than it was answers.
When the truth comes out, when the truth comes out, you can run, but you know it's ending. At the bottom of the grave, you're digging out. When the truth comes out, yeah, you know this is just the beginning. Lights crumble down when the truth comes out.